Welcome to week 2 of Mood Alter, and today we are looking at how to soothe anxiety and overwhelm. We can just make our way straight into the first exercise, and that's what we're going to be needing our ball for. Take your ball, and it's up to you whether you want to come to a standing position or come to a chair and just sit. We're going to take a foot massage with the ball underneath your foot. You can start to bring your foot underneath the ball and play around with it around the ball of your foot and the side of your foot. And then the arch of your foot. Start to play around standing on your ball. And if you like, you can come to a seat. I sometimes sit on the couch when I'm watching TV and do it. I thought I'd introduce the theme while we're starting to roll the ball around our foot, letting you sense into the side arches here, the middle of your foot and the side of your foot, and then exploring the heel. We'll keep on this same foot, and I think just intuitively you will know where you want your foot to lead. So we're looking at soothing anxiety and overwhelm. What does anxiety and overwhelm feel like? For me, it's that racing, chaotic hurricane of a mind. Thoughts are just going around like a pinball. It's the rapid heartbeat and a really shallow, rapid rate of breath. Notice how your feet might feel on each side and notice the difference. You might like to take your ball to the other side and start to take those same moves again, starting around the ball of your foot, feeling any little tender parts up and down. If you're not enjoying this, you can start to give yourself a gentle foot massage, just doing what feels good for you. And the reason I am introducing this first exercise is because you notice that as we're paying attention to our foot rolling onto the ball here, we're starting to bring our attention from what could be a really busy, swirling, chaotic mind, and it's drawing your thoughts all the way down to your feet. You might be saying, oh, this bit's juicy, or oh, that bit's tight. But suddenly, whatever has been going on in your mind, there are more chances that your mind can be directed to one thing, to the feet. And it's very grounding to bring our energy down, that downward sense. At the top of our head and our feet are so far apart. Our feet are the furthest apart from our body. So it sort of just makes sense that this could be something relaxing. When you have racing thoughts, I keep a ball by my bed. And sometimes if you wake up with a worrying mind and you just know that I'm not feeling, sometimes I'll take a breath exercise, but sometimes I need to get up, and standing and rolling yourself around this ball could be something that can help. So that's our activity number 1. See if that works for you. You can let go of that practice now and put your ball to the side. And next we're going to come into calming vase breath. This is an ancient technique that you might already be familiar with. Just come to a really comfortable position. If you want to come to sit on a chair, please do that, or I've got my big cushion behind me and I can come and sit against it. Wherever you are, you might be sitting on a blanket to give your hips a little bit of elevation. Just find yourself in the most comfiest position and start to soften around your shoulders, soften around your jaw and feel spaciousness around your eyebrows. Just noticing your breath right now. Maybe closing down the eyes or having a fuzzy gaze in front. We'll start to take our hands to beneath our belly button. You might like to take your hands in a triangular shape where your 2 thumbs are joining and your fingers are joining below. Just bring that around your tummy. If your arms are feeling particularly tight today, just place them on your laps. We want you to be as most comfortable as possible. Imagine our torso like a vase. As you take your next deep inhale, notice as though you are filling up a vase with water, filling up the bottom all the way to the top. And as you exhale, you can soften and let go the tension on your shoulders and your jaw. Take a long, slow breath in, inflating your belly, coming all the way up to your torso. Exhaling, letting the breath go. Inhale, really inflating the tummy, which can be hard. Sometimes we're sort of taught to bring our belly in, but right now we're trying to bring our belly inflated out all around. And take a few more rounds of breath at your own pace. One more breath. Now just coming back to slow inhale and exhale as I explain the next part of the technique. We're going to progress with this and take a breath retention, which is just a gentle breath hold. When I'm saying hold the breath, I'm definitely not talking about holding your breath in. It's just a gentle no breath. It's as soft as you can keep it around your throat. And another thing to note is if I'm asking us to hold for longer than is comfortable for you, just do as long as you like to. So we're going to breathe in again, in through the belly. And then after we've inhaled, we're going to hold for a count of 8 and then exhale and let go. So we'll start to get settled in once again. Maybe keep your hands at your belly, or maybe it's time to relax them on the tops of your knees. Imagine you have a deflated balloon just beneath your belly button now. And as you take your next inhale, you're going to start to really expand and blow up and inflate the balloon underneath your navel. And that before you exhale, we're going to hold for a count of 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Soften around your shoulders. Start to breathe in and inflate this imaginary balloon at your belly. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let go. We'll repeat this a few times. If the breath retention is not working for you, then just forget that part and just concentrating on inflating at the belly and really softening as you exhale. Playing around with this at your own pace for a few more rounds. And one more round. Breathing in, inflating at the belly, and holding just softly with no breath for as long as is comfortable, and then softening and letting everything go. Notice if you feel any more calm. It's no specific way we're meant to feel. And this is one that can be very discreet, and you can take this technique anywhere. We're often mouth breathers and upper chest breathers in our everyday life. And unless we start to really train ourselves to breathe down into our belly, we're not getting that expansive breath. This is a technique to calm ourselves down and slow the heart rate. One more breath technique before we get into some restorative poses, and that's where your scarf or your belt or your strap is going to come in handy. We're going to take it around our lower back. So generally just you sort of feel where your bra strap is, just a little bit below there. And we're going to you don't have to move. I'm just coming sideways to show you. We're going to bring our arms at a gentle L shape, a 45-degree angle. Loose, we don't want to sort of be really trying to fuss around with holding ourselves. We're just keeping ourselves in a relaxed state, getting comfy. And now just start to breathe. See if you can take a really deep inhale. And do you notice how that's bringing your ribs and your back to either your scarf or your strap or your belt? If you don't have any of these, you can also just bring your hands, your thumbs to the back of your ribs and your fingers to the side. As you're breathing, we're starting to notice, hopefully, that we're really expanding the back and side of our ribs. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't often think about breathing into the back and sides of my body. And this starts to bring awareness to our thoracic diaphragm. As you're inhaling, you can feel that the ribs are coming out. The thoracic diaphragm is starting to flatten to bring more air into your lungs. And as you exhale, it's turning in and up, and you're starting to feel a relaxation. We're increasing our breathing capacity here by bringing the breath into the back and sides of our ribs. Please just take 2 more breaths, just like this. Softening around the shoulders. When you're ready, we're going to cross your bottom over, so it's crossed in front of you, just again with a gentle grip. As you start to breathe, you can feel the 360 circumference around your ribs. Exhale. Breathing in, noticing the 360 diameter of our thoracic diaphragm, expanding spaciousness around your lungs. And as you exhale, we're softening and relaxing. You'll notice that we have moved the breath into an expansive area around the lower part of our ribs, haven't we? If you're ever feeling really stressed and that shortness of breath will come to you, then this could be an exercise that you could use to help slowly bring the breath into a more expansive state, taking your hands to around your ribs and breathing. Also, just a fantastic way of being able to extend and expand your breathing capacity. So I hope you found those useful. We'll now move on to a few different poses. The first one is a supported standing forward fold. So you can either take this by coming and standing next to your bed, a couch, a desk, or a chair. What we're trying to find is a flat surface to lean your forehead against. If you're in the middle of the room, you might like to be taking a forward fold. I'm going to take the option of this stool here. You could be using the edge of your bed or your couch. This is a hard surface, and most chairs will hopefully have a softer surface. For more stability, you could be placing a chair against a wall here. And I'm simply just going to have my legs at hip width distance apart and bring my forehead down on the edge of the surface, whatever that is. I want to bring my hands down, but you might want to bring your hands around your head. Just be sure that you're not bringing the weight to the top of your head. It's really just bringing the weight forward here. And now we're just going to settle in. If you're in the middle of the room, you can also just hang in ragdoll if that's comfortable for you. Taking opposite elbows and moving yourself from side to side. Another options would be that you could be coming to a wall and leaning your buttocks against a wall and then taking your forward fold. I'm giving all these options so that you can find what's right for you in different circumstances. And you'll start to feel the backs of your hamstrings stretching. and a slight pressure on your forehead. Make sure you've got a little bit of a tuck of your chin, like you're making a little baby double chin here. If it's comfortable and you're steady enough, you can start to bring one hand to your heart. Notice here when we're in any type of a forward fold that your head is below your heart. And what's happening here is your baroreceptors in your neck are sending a signal to start to slow your heart rate down. Stay here for a few more breaths and just notice if it brings a calming effect. Your hamstrings may be starting to feel a little bit more stretched. You might be able to bring your feet in together a little bit more. One more breath if you're comfortable. And then just slowly, but not too slowly, because you don't want pressure on the back, just start to come upright and stand. And just give yourself a moment here. And just notice how you feel. And there's a general rule in yoga, we don't really have rules, do we? But a principle, I suppose, that if you are feeling tired, then lifting yourself up and inhaling are things that can invigorate us. But if you are feeling stressed, anxious, then sort of coming down and the exhales and the forward folds can send the message to the body to relax more. So we can leave that away now and get ourselves ready for our next pose. We are going to come into a supported child's pose, and I'm going to offer a few options here. We'll first take a stack of blankets. Hopefully you've got 2 or 3. Have them to the side of you. Take one blanket and bring that down to the mat. This is where your knees will rest. Then you can take either one large cushion from your couch, or you might like to take 2 pillows from your bed and have the other blankets around you, because we're going to take some extra options just to really personalize this pose for you, because we're coming into supported child's pose. And this is one of people's most favorite poses once they start to find the ways to feel comfortable. So you'll come to kneel and then spread your knees about hip distance apart. I like to have my big toes touching. Some people prefer to have their toes in line with their ankles. You can start to bring a stack of pillows. I'm actually going to use a long couch cushion, and then start to bend yourself down. You might get into this position straight away and think, this is exactly comfortable for me, but maybe not. Something that might be uncomfortable might be that you have tight hips. And one way to help that would be to take a blanket and bring it behind your knees. So just come up onto your knees and bring a blanket underneath your knees, and see if that helps. A blanket to the bottom of your feet here. So I'm bringing it underneath the top part of my feet. And that can help if you have any pressure around your ankles. Lots of options. Hopefully, we're going to be able to save one blanket that can be placed over our shoulders. If you get into this position and feel that your back is dipping, you can bring a blanket underneath your belly as well. And the last option is to elevate whichever kind of cushion or pillow you're using. And I know that some of us at home have got a bolster, so you could be using here a block or 2 blocks to bring a bolster upright as well. But I'm trying to show items that we can use from around the house. So get into your position. You want to find somewhere where your back feels supported, your knees feel comfortable. Just have a notice to see whether your hips are in line with your back. The last option I'm going to offer, which I think is my favorite, is to have a blanket over your shoulders. Hopefully you've still got one, because this is one of the nicest parts of it. We're going to come down to the bolster, laying down, and then the option here is to be able to flip the blanket over your head. Please stay there if that's comfortable for you. I'm coming out just so I can talk more clearly. But the idea of flipping this blanket over our head, or even just cozying around our shoulders, is to bring ourselves inwards. And with the blanket over the head, we are withdrawing ourselves from all the senses, all the activity that's around. I was just speaking to one of our lovely participants today about how full life is. I think in this time of life, it is very full. And that's one of the things that can cause our sense of anxiety and overwhelm. For me, it feels like there's too many tabs open. You know, when you've got too many tabs open on a computer. And this is a way of starting to shut down. It's like we're shutting down a computer right now, unplugging. Everything is switched off. If you found yourself still not in a comfortable position, I suggest you lay on your tummy and bring your hands on top of each other, and your forehead can be resting on your hands, or even just laying down for this patch, just whatever's going to suit you. Just seeing if you can come right inside, like a little turtle that's just its head and tail and arms have come right inside the shell. You're really withdrawing right now. Finding some peace and some stillness. Notice how your tummy is supported underneath your pillows or blankets. It's getting a gentle massage as you breathe in and out. Getting comfortable with this sense of silence and stillness. And you may or may not be able to hear me if you have a blanket over your head. You can just hear a soft sense of words, just let them wash over you. I'd like to read you a short passage from David White called Rest. Rest is the conversation between what we love to do and how we love to be. Rest is the essence of giving and receiving, an act of remembering imaginatively and intellectually, but also psychologically and physically. To rest is to give up on the already exhausted will as a prime motivator of endeavour, with its endless outward need to reward itself through established goals. To rest is to give up on worrying and fretting and the sense there is something wrong in the world unless we are there to put it right. To rest is to fall back, literally or figuratively, from the outer targets and shift the goal to an inner state of natural exchange. The template of rest is the natural exchange of the body breathing, the autonomic giving and receiving, that forms the basis and measure of life itself. We are an intriguing conversation between the potential that lies in our imagination and the possibilities for making that internal image real in the world. We are rested when we let things alone and let ourselves alone to do what we do best, to breathe as the body intended us to breathe. You can slowly start to make some slight movements now. Perhaps you're starting to unfurl yourself from the blanket and start to use your hands to prop yourself up, keeping your chin tucked so that the movements aren't too drastic. And we'll slowly come into our last pose. We're going to take Stonehenge. This one's really simple if you just want to swing your legs up the side of the couch. I know that some of you aren't by a couch, so we'll have options for bolsters and pillows. Make sure that you have something comfortable underneath you if you like that extra layer. And then if you have a couch nearby, just bring your side of your hip up to it, and you can bring your legs just up to the side of the couch. It's your choice whether you want to bring your bottom a little bit further away or not. I just have my calves resting on the couch here. Depending on the height of your bed, you could do that with your bed as well. I know everyone's not near the couch, so we'll just actually look at this other option. You can bring a stack of pillows. I'm going to take a big stack here because I like mine to be high. Really simple here. And then you can just bring your legs over it like this. Again, just moving around with your positioning to see if you'd like to bring your bottom in closer. That's feeling good for my lower back. Hands can either be on your belly or stretch out a little bit wider. Maybe you're bringing a little bit of cushioning underneath your head. If you're in a comfortable position, please stay there. I just want to show you, one of our students has a bolstering block. So I'll just show you that option, which is what we traditionally do. This option is to take 2 blocks, and you're going to take them about hip width distance apart, and then take a bolster and place it on top. We'll be doing the same thing where we're swinging our legs on the top. And see if you can, in this position, just start to melt into the ground, feeling your body, especially the back of your body, starting to surrender into the mat. Softening around your shoulders. Almost as though you are an ice block that's just melting around the edges. You might imagine that you have lots of little plugs down your back, and all the plugs are just being let go, and pressure is just coming out of your back into the mat. Be here just for a couple of minutes. This is a pose that you can stay in for much longer, as is child's pose. You might join in with a little meditation. You can start to take your hands into a really gentle fist. No white knuckles, just loose hands. And concentrating on your right hand now. As you next exhale, start to stretch out your right thumb. And as you inhale, feel volume in that thumb. When your next inhale comes in, start to uncurl your index finger. And as you inhale, feel spaciousness in that finger. Exhale, uncurl your middle finger. And inhale, feel expansiveness in that finger. With your own breath, unfurling the last two fingers of your hand. Noticing the difference of energy between your right and your left hand. Slowly drawing your mind's eye to your left thumb and gently uncurling as you exhale. And feel volume in the thumb as you inhale. Exhale, uncurl your index finger. Inhale energy through the finger. Middle finger uncurls as you exhale. And feel energy and expansion as you inhale. Gently uncurling the next two fingers at your own pace. And then starting to feel the energy in both of your hands. As you now draw energy from the tips of your fingers to your heart space. And as you exhale, draw that energy back down to your fingertips from your heart. Inhale, drawing the energy to the cave of your heart. Exhale your heart down to your fingers. Two more times, just like that, feeling the energy come from the tips of your fingers to your heart, to the beat of your heart. Slowly, you might like to start to move your fingers around. You might like to twinkle your toes. And you can decide now whether you'd like to stay in this position for a little bit longer or you'd like to close your practice. I do try and keep these short so they're doable in our full schedules. But I do encourage you to stay if you can. If you're starting to make your way out of the position, you can just roll yourself to one side, taking your legs off whatever they've been resting on, and just stay on one side for a little while. And then when you're ready, you can come to a seat. Take a few breaths here before you start to face the world. I hope you found some of these techniques useful to be able to think about times when you might be feeling like you are so wired, but also just so mentally exhausted, but also so wired. I think that's one of the things that can happen. So these more relaxing techniques, I'm hoping, might be able to bring you back to center and feel more grounded. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Bye.